Like putting on an old pair of comfortable shoes, Bethesda Game Studios' Fallout 4 feels very familiar yet fresh and consistently thrilling all at the same time. Fallout fans couldn't ask for more from this mind-bending, massive post-apocalyptic sandbox that delivers on all fronts. And that's just it. Bethesda did it again. They've turned our world to ashes, placed us right in the middle, and asked us not only to play in their world, but to make it our own this time around. Set in the former megalopolis of Boston, Massachusetts' Wasteland has more to offer within the first hour of gameplay than most titles accomplish in their entirety. As expected, Boston's Wasteland is a death trap ready to be explored. Permeated with nooks and crannies, this is a game that deserves to have every square inch explored. But to venture out into this vast land, you'd better be well stocked up on purified water and Radaway, because it's going to take you a long time. For the first time in a console Fallout game, we get to explore the actual world before the war, if ever briefly. Beginning in a small suburb of Boston in an even smaller, brightly lit, popping and colorful neighborhood, completely different from the dull, lifeless palette of a wasteland everyone is used to experiencing, where you choose your character's features and gender. After a few moments in a worry-free, middle-class land, the real story begins and the sandbox wasteland is yours to explore. From the moment I entered the afterlife of what was once the bustling city of Boston, not only was it a moment of pure excitement, but also completely and overwhelmingly intimidating, in all the best ways. And that's Fallout 4 in a nutshell, a world created with you in mind. See a house off in the distance and want to explore it? Go ahead. Find a sewer teeming with enemies to be taken down? Load up your shotgun and have at them. There's no right or wrong way to go about Fallout 4. Everything is left up to you. This dark, crumbled future of tomorrow is beautifully rendered around Boston and heavily focuses on its downtown districts. Where Fallout 3 suffered graphically as a blurry mess, even for its time, Fallout 4 is spellbinding. Certain cities are now dynamic. Decorating for holidays and events brings in a very lively ambience. Lighting and land textures work well. Where pixelated rough edges once surrounded cities and characters, they're now smoothed out and give off a very natural feel. Factions make a return to Fallout 4 with secrets aplenty. Loyalty amongst groups and completing missions gets you entry into certain factions. Each faction is after their own goal, and unlike New Vegas, they're not warmongering and always looking to take over the wasteland while spying on your every move. They all want something better than what Boston has to offer. Fallout's perk system returns with a new, more comprehensive chart, jam-packed with all sorts of new and classic abilities. Perk points are handed out upon leveling up and can be spent on any unlocked ability. Special attributes help expand the chart to unlock more perks. This chart is enormous and multi-layered as perks are now able to level up themselves. VATS, or Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System, returns to Fallout 4 and works as smooth as ever. But be careful, time does not freeze while in VATS like it did in Fallout 3, it only slows down. So getting attacked while in VATS is now a thing, and it's sometimes nerve-wracking, especially in sticky situations. The new Execute Critical move placed inside VATS allows for instant critical hits to occur pre-rendered at the press of a button for major damage. Expanded upon from Fallout 3 is the buddy system, or as Bethesda likes to call it, a companion. Companions have also been expanded on. It's now possible to command companions, where they go, if they attack, if they hold back, search people or objects. But be careful. Certain choices I made for my characters determined whether they liked me or not. This can lead to disobeyed orders onward. I wasn't always comfortable with my companions' eyes of judgment raining down on me, so I went solo from time to time. Dialogue in Fallout 4 is, as most things in the game, expanded upon heavily and also multi-layered. With the playable character running around with a voice of his or her own, finally, this has opened up vast dialogue branches that feel as though they can go off in many different directions. Where Fallout 3 had an in-your-face, good, neutral, or bad answer for everything, Fallout 4 is expansive rather than absolute, with a few good and bad selections to choose from, as well as a newly added sarcastic response. Dialogue is also expansive that finding how to answer someone became very fun. I often found myself going back from a quick save just to find out what other dialogue branches I could discover. Having a voice of his own, my character wasn't just another character. He was the center of the entire story unfolding around him. He has a mind, he can think, act, decide, not care. It wouldn't seem as though a voice to a character could change the mechanics of how I play, but that addition added a whole other layer of complexity. It allowed me to understand where he was coming from emotionally, to grasp his struggles and unwrap his mind from how he expressed himself. Other NPCs throughout the Wasteland also have their own voice and personalities similar to past games. Tons of different and unique people, crazy and exciting legendary enemies and creatures from all walks of life, mixed in well with the moody atmosphere. Workshops are a new and very welcomed form of village simulator. Wastelanders try to build new home fronts to begin a more secure future society. Of course, they need our help to do so. Building beds, adding electricity, growing crops, sourcing water, and much more become fun and rewarding challenges. Don't feel too overwhelmed. To get crops to grow or defenses to run properly, they must be assigned to a villager. Cleaning up abandoned towns and adding in essential elements is a snap. Building defenses for a secure perimeter that gets attacked from time to time is a nice and fresh way to build up a few different safe houses around Boston. Modifying weapons, armor, and power armors in Fallout 4 has become a lot more immersive and fun, while more advanced upgrades require certain perks to be unlocked later on. What was implemented really well and utilized extensively this time around is, surprisingly, junk. Weapons, armor, and village essentials often implement many varieties of junk, so be prepared to collect every piece out there this time around. With weapon and armor mods, a sizable amount of weapons are at our disposal in this game. Weapon and armor condition is no longer a major thing. Weapons and armors do not have health gauges and eventually break down over time. With the exception of power armor to help regulate how often the player can stay in the nearly invincible suit, weapons and armors are always at maximum capacity and at their killiest. Was that even a word? Remember the classic tunes of Fallout 3? Amazing performers singing their greatest hits of generations long past. Those who are familiar with Fallout 3's soundtrack may be delighted to know that many songs return with a collection of new entries as well. And as always, the music feels right at home. A collection of a mostly upbeat variety counteracts the dismally lonely moments experienced while venturing out into the great unknown. Fallout 4 is a tremendous success. It brings back the dead, lifeless, lonesome land we've longed for. It carries forward the excellent aspects of what makes Fallout a great series and leaves behind unnecessary fillers and distractions. The dialogues branch out into unexpected twists and turns and feels ahead of any other multiple choice game I've played to date. Boston is scorched with an onslaught of both good and overwhelming evil that forced me to want to play the game for hours on end with little to no breaks in between. Fallout 4 engulfed me in a massive world overflowing with mystery and a true sense of discovery that demanded to be explored. It delivered in every aspect imaginable with little to no technical hiccups. Quests were diverse, longer lasting, and much more fun than they were in past Fallout entries. This hundreds of hours long, epic struggle for survival of a stranger in a strange land isn't worth the asking price. It's worth so much more. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to sit back, crack open a bottle of Nuka-Cola, and enjoy more of the game. Pass me the rat away, please. And if you like what we're doing, go ahead and click that subscribe button. See you soon.